right, we're going to walk through the steps of using eTMACT to review what we call a long chart. You may have other phrases, but essentially it's where you're of the 6 subset of IDs selected, where we're looking at the plans and the assessments. So I'm going to go ahead and click Client 12. This, like everything in the eTMACT, is a form that you open and edit. So you click Edit, and that opens the form. Confirm you're looking at Client 12. And it is similar to the paper form. We're just unpacking the content so you can better capture the information within. So it starts with asking about whether you see substance abuse assessments and is it completed at intake? And if so, prompts for dates. Do you see evidence of it ongoing? And again, this is more of an orientation to eTMACT, not a training in TMACT. So with training related questions, we hope those live elsewhere. But you're going through and submitting this information. Again, green icons live here to remind us what we're looking for. Is there documentation of stages of change readiness? Yes or no? It's showing us which item this is relevant for, service item ST2, service number 2. And you're essentially just making your way through this form. And my default is going to yada yada myself through this. Do you see evidence of the assessment? Yes. More questions. Does it look like it is similar to or is the IPS career profile? Gives you information of where to go look for what that is if you need to see it. Other assessments. Do you see evidence of other assessments and what are they? So we see the ATR for transition readiness. And then also, are you seeing evidence of client strengths, resources being assessed and documented? If you say yes, it's going to prompt you. What did you see in terms of quality? And provide some examples. It's really good to do your best to try to capture a lot of examples because that's going to help you with making ratings and it'll help the lead evaluator in writing the report. So we're going to yada that. And then when it comes to service planning, we're looking at the plans. What is the most recent plan? So you're picking the month and the year. That's pretty long. Let's at least give some credit there. And the previous one. Write down an example recovery or long-term goal from this plan. So here you're qualitatively trying to capture what you're seeing. What do you see as the short-term goal and objective? As a reminder, do not include the client's name or other identifiable PHI in these text boxes. Indicate other observations about the plan itself. Does it flow? Does the logic flow between the interventions and the goals? Are the interventions personalized or do they clearly come from a canned template of some sort? So this is a place where you qualitatively summarize what you're seeing when you're looking at the plan. Do you see evidence of strengths and resources informing the development of goals, action steps, intervention? If you say yes, it's going to prompt you to specify what you saw. Then we move on to the PP3 life domain item. Here, you are asked to look at the extent to which you saw planned interventions in the person-centered plan. This is at the level of an intervention. So that's where you should be looking in the plan. Is there plans to address money management skills, for instance? Then you go through and in the drop-down menu, you're selecting which category of life domain does it fit with. I'm just picking some at random right now. This person had a lot of healthcare. Okay. And then we go on to the next one, summarize the extent to which interventions were written in a personal manner or generic. And then you come down here, the extent to which you see that in the service notes, you saw indication of different life domains being addressed with interventions. This is probably one of the clunkier parts right now in eTMACT that we'll hope to smooth out in the future because you really do need to go back to your service notes, I hit save, always hit save. Don't use that back button in your browser. Hit save and navigate with the back button built into eTMACT. I would need to go back to my chart log access, go back to those service notes and take a look. There is a quicker way to look at these notes, and we will speak to that in a different video, pro tip. But you have to come back and look somehow at what was provided to then come back and say, what did you see? So I saw definitely healthcare. Now, right now, eTMACT is paying attention to whether or not the conditions for alignment have been met or not. At least 50% of what was planned was delivered. Right now, we only have one of the three showing up. Let's say we add in functional daily living, self-care as listed above. Yes, it toggled back to yes. So before it's a no, but now because it can see, it moved it to yes. Now we move down to client schedules. Did you get a chance to see a client schedule? What did you see in terms of the information there? How well do the plan's interventions appear to show up in the client schedule? Sometimes this is an NA because there is no client schedule. And how well does the client schedule appear to drive what you saw in the daily service scheduling? So I'm just putting in some information here for the sake of this exercise. And then it ends with crisis plans. What did you see for crisis plans? Is there a crisis plan in the medical chart? Yes. Then you get more. Is it up to date? Does it appear practical and personal? So you're given a judgment and then summarizing information here. And then again, make sure you're hitting save. And that we will eventually change it where this will turn a color once it knows that it also is starting to receive information. If that's possible. I think we were looking into that. So that is the long chart review.